Hey everybody, it's Kelsey. This is Essentially Book. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. And I know I said that I wasn't going to do any TBRs. Well, I kind of lied. But not really. Like, I'm still not making a formal monthly TBR. However, it is the magical readathon in August, and it is the fall equinox in August. And this is a readathon that is hosted by Book Roast, and it is so fun. I completed my very first one in April or May. I don't know, time's really a mess for me. But you essentially create a character within this like school, and you take your semesters with these reading prompts to pass your classes. So my character is trying to be a Feywild cartographer, and this is basically, you're like mapping the realm in this role, I guess. Like, she just goes all out. She makes these syllabus. So on this sheet, there's all these classes that I need to pass in the spring equinox and in the autumn equinox. So in the autumn, it's a little more challenging. I need to get an Owen Elemental Studies, an Owen Animal Studies, an Owen Astronomy, an Owen Alchemy, a Q in Inscription, and an Owen Demonology. So I need to read 7 books to pass this semester, and they all have prompts. So I grabbed the syllabus for the spring, got them right here, and I'm gonna go through the TBR to pass for this readathon. And this is a month-long readathon, so I have a whole month to do it. It'll be great, it'll be fun. Again, my priorities are book of the month and books from my shelves. And I had to be a little more creative because these prompts are a little harder. And so I had to just not necessarily use book of the month for everything. So we will get started. All right, so the first book that I need to read is, the first class I need to pass is I need to get an O in Elemental Studies. So for Elemental Studies, to get the O, it's Element of the Earth, and it's a book with the word Earth in the title. So the book I'm going to read is On Earth as It Is in Television by Emily Jane. This is a signed book that I got from Dog-Eared Books as a part of their dog pack subscription. I've done a video on that. That will be linked up above. It's just a local bookstore that I adore, and their book subscription has been really good. I have a referral link if it's something you're interested in, but they're more handpicked and select than like book of the month. But this book is about when spaceships arrive and then depart suddenly without a word, the certainty that we are not alone in the universe turns to intense uncertainty as to our place within it. This one just seems really quirky and fun. I'm getting this mixed up too with, I think, is it like something Roswell? I don't know. But anyways, I don't know much about this, but I think it sounds really fun, and I trust the people who picked these books at Dog-Eared Books, and I think the cover is just really pretty. Okay, so that has Earth in the title, On Earth as It Is in Television. That would get me my O for Elemental Studies. The next thing I need to pass is an O in Animal Studies, and that will be an introduction to domestic creatures. And I needed to use a pet pic. Use mine on Instagram if you don't. So I'm going to flip over here to some B-roll. I had my dogs pick my book. They were really bad at it. You'll watch it here. Gus, come. Can you pick my book? Pick a book. Gus, what book should I read? Gus, what book should I read? Look, Gus. 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 What book should I read? Kingsley, what book should I read? That wasn't helpful. And they obviously, you know, spent a lot of time picking the books. So I went with like the one that it seemed like they sniffed the longest, and that's Winter Counts, which this was on a previous TBR. This is an Indigenous thriller. Virgil Wounded Horse is a local enforcer on the Rosebud Indian Reservation in South Dakota. When justice is denied by the American legal system or the tribal council, he is hired to deliver his own punishments, the kind that's hard to forget. When heroin makes its way onto the reservation and finds Virgil's nephew, his vigilantism suddenly becomes personal. He enlists the help of his ex-girlfriend and sets out to learn where the drugs are coming from and how to make them stop. So it's crime fiction, fast-paced. I've heard really good things about this, so I'm very excited to read it. The next thing is I need to get an O in Astronomy. And to do that, it's Moon Song Ritual is the class, I guess. And you had to take word in the title from the name of the last song you listened to. And when I did this, I was listening to Drunk on a Boat, which is a country song. And I don't really have books that fit that, so I decided I would stretch it a little bit, which is fine. I make my own rules. The book I have for that is Olivia Dade's Shipwrecked, and I have not read her other one, but I have it on my Kindle. It's spoiler alert is the one that I have not read, I don't think. This is a warm and romantic comedy about two co-stars who once had an incredible one-night stand and after years of filming on the same remote island are finally ready to yield to temptation again. I just think the cover of her books are so pretty, and there's plus size representation. I've heard really great things, so I'm very excited to read this one as well. And then I need to get an Owen Alchemy, which is Stone to Copper, and that must be a first in a series. So I actually have 2 books for this, and we'll see. The one that I would really like to get to is Alice Hoffman's Magic Lessons. This is the first, like the prequel to the Practical Magic series. I haven't read this one or the Book of Magic, so I want to get those done. They're also book of the months. But the other one I would like to read if I have time is Throne of Glass, because my friend Marty has told me I need to read the whole series before book 3 of Crescent City comes out. I kind of agree with her, so I would like to do that too. But Magic Lessons will be the first one. This is about Maria, I believe. Where does the story of the Owens bloodline begin with Maria Owens in the 1600s when she's abandoned in a snowy field in rural England as a baby? So this is kind of, I think, the origin story of like the curse that this family faces in Practical Magic. And I really like Alice Hoffman's writing. It's very lyrical, quiet. I think people think this is like going to be a faster paced book, like Practical Magic. I know not a lot of people love it, but I really do. It's not the same as it is the same, but like her writing is just really pretty. If you're not a lyrical writer fan, you probably won't like Alice Hoffman, but I love her. Okay, so I need to get a cue and inscription. So I have to read 2 books for this to get that. I need to read A Glyph, which is tidy, book from your end of the year TBR. That's one that I keep just pushing back and forth, and I keep saying I'm gonna get to it, but I'm finally gonna frickin' read Beach Read. It's the only Emily Henry I haven't read, and it's the one that I think I will love the most. So I'm not really gonna go into this. If you have been living under a rock, I'm sorry, but you should just know the gist, I guess, of this, or know who Emily Henry is. I'm gonna read it, finally, okay? Promise. And then the second book I need to read is A Shield on a Cover, or A Shield in the title, and I kind of stretched this one too. So I'm gonna read The Nest. This was a book of the month that I got. I mean, it's so old for book of the month that they haven't even done their branding, and there's just a little thing on the cover. So the shield is this family crest. I mean, it looks like a shield, it works, so I'm just gonna stretch it and do it because it works and I wanna read the books off my shelf. And this is one of the oldest book of the months that I've had. This is like family behaving badly. I think it has to deal with an inheritance. Yeah, they're about to get their trust fund, and the siblings have been counting on the money to solve a number of self-inflicted problems. So rich people behaving badly, dysfunctional families, all the things that I love in a book. Finally, I need to get an O in Demonology, and that is Introduction to Low-Level Demons. Read a first book you see on Instagram, Goodreads, or others. So I scrolled and scrolled until I found one that I owned, because again, that's my plan here. I'm finally gonna read 8 Perfect Murders. I've never read Peter Swanson. I actually started this book, but then realized it's based on like this serial killer that's choosing his murders based on like murders from books. And so I knew one of them was from The Secret History. So I decided to pause this and go read The Secret History. Not that you need to read the books that they're set on, but I just wanted to for some reason, but I don't really care to go and do like the ABC Murders by Agatha Christie, which one is based on. So I'm finally gonna read this, and then maybe it'll inspire me to pick up the other books. I don't know. I know Peter Swanson's really beloved, and I've heard pretty good things about this, so I am excited to read it. It seems like it'll be a fast read, and also murder, fall, I don't know, kind of, August isn't even fall, but it just feels like it fits for that time of the year. So, okay, so that is the syllabus and my TBR for August. I'm gonna be reading other stuff too, of course. I have some book club books, all sorts of things, but for not making a TBR, but I am making a TBR for this readathon specifically, it's fine. I'm just bending my own rules. The cool thing is, in the last readathon, for the magical readathon, we read the most books and the most pages that I think had been read in any of her readathons. And so we all get to start 3 days early. I'm in the Order of the Crescent. Anyways, I'm going to start 3 days early so I can read these whenever I want. Hopefully I do. I have a ton of library books out, so it could be what it is, but here's my huge stack of books, and I'm pretty pumped. Like, it's actually looking to be like a really fun stack to read for August. I know my husband goes back to school in the middle of August, and my son will go back to daycare. I have a Monday off, so I am hoping to do some reading sprints here or there. I'm planning a 1 year on BookTube celebration. I'm in the beginning stages of that because July is my 1 year anniversary. So be on the lookout for that. That will be coming here shortly. I'm super excited to read these. They just look really fun. Yeah, we're headed up north to a wedding. We've got like a 9-hour drive ahead of us to North Dakota. and it could be really, I could get a lot of reading in. I might not get any in. It really just depends on my 3-year-old. So who knows if I start this stack, because I could technically start it on our drive home. But until then, until the next video, I will see you. The next one that will go up will be my July wrap up. I had a pretty good July reading month, numbers wise, but pretty mediocre, I think, ratings wise, but we'll see when I go to look at that. Does anybody else kind of like black out what they read? Sort of. I don't know. I feel like I do all the time. Anyways, okay, until the next video, I will see you later.